Things are gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, where on today's episode, we are going to be looking into quite some fascinating stories this week. But one thing I will start off by saying is that I really do hope things will go well this week, because if you guys may remember during the last episode, I somehow had a lot of weird technical difficulties. Now, I don't know if it was either on my side because my internet was somehow acting up during that time, or if it's just my computer working too hard, or maybe it was just on Twitch and they were just working too hard, which resulted in a lot of complications on my end and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but I am hoping that for this week we won't be facing those difficulties again, and I will say right now that I do hope in the future that I will bring Jim back as another special guest star, because he was definitely great to work with, and he definitely did deserve better than an episode that had a lot of technical difficulties. Honestly, like when those mistakes or when those little mishaps happen when I would have a special guest star, it's often honestly really embarrassing to go through and try to manage all that while the show is live. You understand what I mean? But anyways, hopefully things will be a lot better for today's episode. So with all that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it. Are you all ready? Okay, let's see. We got some people prepared. It looks like they're all ready. That is great to hear. And so, with all that said, it is now time that we are gonna go and get this started. And with our first story that I have for you today, this is just not only one story that I have for you. What I am going to be talking about is going to be a combination of several stories to combine into what is possibly the biggest movie news story of the week, or maybe of the year, or something like that. But this is absolutely major and very coincidental that all of them seem to happen in this one week. And it's even at the point where it was like one day after another that we would get like this announcement and then this announcement and then this announcement from several different studios. And what I am talking about, of course, is all the movie delays. Yes, every single movie that we know so far that were all originally meant to be released pretty soon, around like mid-2020 and stuff like that, have now been all moved to either late 2020 or even pushed back to 2021. Now, to go and start things off, I'm gonna go in chronological order, starting with the one who did it first, and then going all the way to the one who did it last that, as I am recording this, did it yesterday. So let's start things off with the first, and probably the one that did it the most drastic, which is Sony. Whoops, nope, that's not you. Sorry about that. I'll save you for later. Anyways, yes, it is Sony Pictures, in which what they have done is that they decided to go and take their summer lineup, take their most anticipated movies of the year, and pretty much move that all the way to 2021. So let me go and read you their list of the new movies that are going to be coming out now in 2021. And there are going to be several changes, and there are going to be a few movies, of course, that they decided to completely remove that from their schedule for now. And the first one, apparently, is Greyhound, which is the Tom Hanks World War II drama that was supposed to be coming out on July 12th. Not July, sorry, on June 12th. But apparently they decided to remove that from the schedule just in general, so we don't know when that's going to be coming out. And then there is Fatherhood, another drama, but this time starring Kevin Hart, I believe. Is that the case? Just need to double check. And yeah, just in case I didn't say it, this is from Variety that I'm using my source. Yes, it is a drama from Kevin Hart. And Fatherhood is the only one that actually moved up from its schedule, that it's going to be released earlier than planned, where originally it was supposed to be coming out on January 15th of 2021. Now it will be released this year on October 23rd. Then after that, it is Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway. Now, the funny thing with Peter Rabbit 2 is that it already did get delayed, because I think it was supposed to be this week that it was supposed to be originally released. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's either supposed to be now or like very, very soon that Peter Rabbit 2 was supposed to come out. But it looks like now they got delayed once again, where originally it was set for August 7th, but now it is going to be completely moved to January 15th of 2021, taking the original spot of Fatherhood. And then there is Sony's two big summer movies that they had scheduled, originally planned for this year. And I'm talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife and Morbius, which both of them were originally supposed to be coming out in July specifically. Ghostbusters was supposed to be out on July 10th, while Morbius was supposed to come out on July 31st. That is no longer the case, as they were both pushed all the way to March of 2021. Ghostbusters will now be released on March 5th, while Morbius will be out on March 19th. And because of that, this ultimately caused Uncharted to also get delayed, where it was originally in the place of Ghostbusters, but now that has to be moved to October 8th of 2021, completely taking the place of Sony's upcoming Marvel movie that a lot of people are presuming that maybe that one is something like maybe that one is Venom 2 or something like that. But for now, it looks like that one is going to be released. We honestly don't know. They removed that from the schedule, and we'll see in the future when they're going to be releasing that. Well, I don't know. But for now, I guess we'll just have to go and wait and see. But that is the entire new catalog of Sony movies. That's their latest lineup that they have so far. And it looks like they ain't going to be offering much for the summer. But then, the following news that we do have is actually from Universal, which they decided to do the same thing, but not with all their movies and stuff like that, but only with a couple of Illumination films. Now, you guys may remember a few weeks ago when it was revealed that Minions: The Rise of Gru would end up getting delayed because, considering how serious the situation is in France, they could not finish post-production of Minions: The Rise of Gru. So ultimately, what Universal decided to do is to delay the movie for an entire year. It was originally supposed to be scheduled for July 3rd, but now it's going to be completely moved to July 2nd of next year. And on top of that, that means they are also going to go and delay Sing 2, which was originally supposed to be released in the summer of 2021, but now they are going to go and move that to the Christmas of 2021, on December 22nd to be precise. And that ultimately means that for now, they got to remove their film adaptation of Wicked off of their schedule. And there is another side note that I would like to add in the case of Universal. Another delay that they have also done is regarding the upcoming Jordan Peele produced movie Candyman, which that one has a new schedule, I believe is going to be on September 25th, I believe. Yeah, it would be that, on September 25th. Now, following that, the next day, Paramount decided to step in and make their delays as well, to make their little announcements. However, unlike Sony Pictures, they didn't go drastic with their delays. They didn't go like full on serious to the point of like moving all their movies to like 2021 or something. all their films that they have originally planned for 2020 is still going to be released in 2020, but just a little bit later. Like, for example, Top Gun Maverick will no longer be released on June 24th, but now will be released on Christmas on December 23rd. While A Quiet Place 2, which was supposed to be released like a few weeks ago, is now going to be released on September 4th. And finally, a lot of people thought that it would be the only one that would stay there, but it looks like the SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run is also going to be delayed, but very slightly. In fact, it's still going to be released in the summer, where it was originally planned for May 22nd, but now it is going to be completely moved to July 31st. And on top of that, which, by the way, this one is from The Wrap that I'm reading from here, and also my source from the Minions Rise of Gru story that is from Deadline. But going back to Paramount, another thing that they have done as well is they decided to remove the release date of The Tomorrow War, which is directed by Chris McKay and starring Chris Pratt. And it originally had the place of Top Gun Maverick, but now it doesn't have a release date yet. And finally, one day later also, we got another one, and this time it is a real big one, Disney. And they had several movies that they had to delay and completely switch up their schedule for not just 2020 and 2021, but a little bit as well of 2022. You may remember how I talked a little bit before regarding the delay of Black Widow and how that could possibly really affect the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, it turns out I was completely right. And this time from my source here on CNBC, it looks like the new schedule now is going to be something a little bit like this. Now, the live-action remake of Mulan, which we were supposed to have that last week, is now going to be coming out on July 24th. Then we also got The French Dispatch has moved to October 16th. Then we got the next Marvel movie, Black Widow, is now going to be moved to November 6th. Then we also got Free Guy, the video game movie starring Ryan Reynolds. That is going to be moved to December 11th. Then we got a couple of movies that did not change their release dates, and they're still going to be around for the holiday season, which will include West Side Story, still released on December 18th, and The Last Duel that's going to be coming out on Christmas Day. Then we got The Eternals, the Marvel movie after Black Widow, that's going to be coming out on February 12th. Then there is the Bob's Burgers movie coming out on April 9th of 2021. Then we also got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings coming out on May 7th, 2021. Then we got Jungle Cruise, which was supposed to be out this July, but now has been delayed for an entire year on July 30th, 2021. Then we got Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming out on November 5th, 2021. Then going into the 2022s, we got Thor, Love and Thunder coming out on February 18th, Captain Marvel coming out on July 8th, and finally, the 5th Indiana Jones movie coming out on July 29th, 2022. And with that said, there is also 3 honorable mentions that I would like to bring up regarding some of the changes that have occurred or their current status of what is happening with them. First and foremost is The New Mutants, and unfortunately, that one does not have a release date yet, making The New Mutants one of the most unlucky movies of all time, considering the amount of delays that it had to go through. And then there is also Artemis Fowl, which that one will not have a release date ever. Instead, that one is actually going to be coming out on Disney+, which honestly, I think it's ultimately the right thing to do. Considering that Artemis Fowl, everybody knows that it was gonna flop at the box office anyways. Because the thing is, Disney always has that one oddball movie almost every year where they would come out with something original or based on a weird book or something like that, and it would always come out as a massive box office bomb. You know those kinds of films that I'm talking about. Stuff like Nutcracker in the Four Realms, A Wrinkle in Time, Tomorrowland, John Carter, and all that kind of stuff. And Artemis Fowl felt like it was one of those movies that would become it would become one of those inevitable box office bombs. So probably the best thing to do is just release it on Disney+. And then finally, the third honorable mention, and probably the one that a lot of people really want to know, what's gonna happen to Soul, the upcoming Pixar film? And believe it or not, folks, Disney is taking a serious risk with Soul. Believe it or not, it ain't moving. It is still gonna be planned to be released on June 16th. That thing is staying, and Disney is taking a big gamble that maybe things are gonna be back to normal, so we'll see. If it works out, if things get a lot better and we don't have to do social distancing anymore by June, then I'm sure Disney is gonna really reap in the rewards when Soul would be released, and like people are just gonna really hype themselves up to go back into the theaters and all that kind of stuff. Like, it would really give people an excuse to go to the movie theaters, and like, if it works, then it's going to work tremendously for Disney and Pixar. But before I continue, though, there is one thing I would like to go and clarify regarding all these release dates, not just the ones from Disney, but also from Paramount, from Universal, and from Sony, is that not everything is set in stone. This is the release dates that they put out for now. We don't have a confirmation about when the coronavirus is going to be over. We don't know when this pandemic is going to end or how long it's going to last and stuff like that. Because worst case scenario, it could continue for another few more months. And if it's going to keep on going, then what's going to happen is that many of these schedules... Oh, excuse me. There we go. Just to make sure that the gas is all off of me. But anyways, going back to what I was talking about. Yes, right over here. The thing is, when it comes to many of these release dates, we don't know if the coronavirus is going to end anytime soon. I've said this many times before, but this is something that we do have to go and take one step at a time. And if things get worse and it's going to last longer than planned, then these schedules will have to be moved again. And whatever summer movies we would have, they would all have to be moved in the fall and even further to 2021 and all that kind of stuff. So take all this with a bit of a grain of salt. And on top of that as well, like with all this, with all these, I know like some people are a little bit disappointed that many of their favorite films or many of their anticipated films are going to be delayed, but it's no longer movie studios that are in control of the movie schedule. It's the coronavirus that's taking all control right now. So with that said, now I know a lot of people may think that all these delays may be a little bit exaggerated, especially in the case of Sony, where they would go and take their entire summer lineup and decided to move that to 2021. But the thing is, to those people who think that the coronavirus is all exaggerated and people are reacting a little bit too harshly to the point that now all these movies are getting delayed and stuff like that, the thing is that the damage has already been done. I know that in North America, this is just beginning, and now we're at the point where the numbers are getting bigger and bigger, and it's getting a little bit more frightening. But the thing is, we've already seen a lot of damage, and we're already seeing the major consequences that did occur. And that is mainly because in these past few weeks, we have already seen these movies getting removed from their schedules and now being placed in another release date, especially in the case that we saw like with Mulan or with Black Widow or like what we just saw with like Top Gun or SpongeBob or Minions and all that kind of stuff. Because the thing is that it's not just a slight delay. This is a domino effect that is going to last for like a few years, where the consequences is going to have a really major long-term impact, where you would see like these movies. Okay, so like you got one movie, it was supposed to be released in the springtime, but now you got to put it in the summer. But then you already got your movies that are in the summer, and you got to move that to either in the fall, or you got to like really push it back to sometime in the summer. Like you see where the domino effect, it goes from again and again and again and again. And this is really the case that we would see, especially with the Marvel movies, because this year we were supposed to have Black Widow and the Eternals, but because all that got delayed, now we're only going to get Black Widow for this year. And then Eternals got to move back to 2021. And then you also got the movies that are supposed to be in development, but due to COVID-19, like the productions are delayed and stuff. So that's why we see a lot more delays from stuff like Shang-Chi and then Doctor Strange. And then like all the other movies that are pushed to 2022, like Thor Love and Thunder and Captain Marvel 2. So we see the long-term consequences that this would go in effect. That it isn't just going to be happening during the time of the coronavirus. This is a long-term effect that would have some major consequences. And one thing that I will say, that among all these delays that I kind of feel very surprised about is actually regarding Sony's part. And I know that it's not necessarily the fact that they would go and delay all their movies to 2021. It's not really what they have delayed that shocked me. It's mostly regarding the one movie they did not delay. And that is actually Connected, their upcoming original animated film. Now, that I know that some people may say that it's still way too far. Like, it is during, it's going to be released sometime in mid-September or something like that. I know it seems a little bit too far to go and talk about or to consider to have it be delayed and stuff like that. But honestly, if I were Sony Pictures, I would actually go and consider to probably move that film as well. Because at this point, I know for a fact that when this whole pandemic is over, and by the time social distancing is no longer a necessary thing to go and practice, then at that point, the highly anticipated films that people are really going to go and watch are the ones that have been delayed. The ones that we were supposed to have like weeks or even months ago, but now we're having it right now, and like people are immediately going to go and eat it up. That is why I'm going to say this right now. I actually do have a very strong feeling that Mulan is going to be a big hit because of that. Or even Black Widow is also going to be a big hit, and this is going to be playing a major factor. And especially in the case of September, it is still going to be a big month for movies where you are going to see plenty of films that are going to be moved to September. And like, thanks to It and It Part 2, like, it is now considered a legitimate hotspot for movies. And like, we are already seeing a lot of films that are already moving to September, like A Quiet Place 2 and Candyman. And I know technically those films are aimed at a different audience than those that Connected is going after. But there is one film that I am keeping an eye on to see if that one is going to have a new release date and they decide to stick with 2020, and that is regarding Scoob. Now, we don't know yet if Warner Brothers has an idea of a new release date for Scoob, but I will say this. If they decided to release that in September, then it would immediately screw things up for Sony with Connected. Because I can guarantee you the hype will definitely be a lot more stronger for Scoob than it is Connected, and it would make it way too easy for that to get overshadowed. So for me, honestly, I feel like it would probably be a smart move that if they are going to go as far as delay stuff like Ghostbusters Afterlife and Morbius, then they should also go and delay Connected as well. I mean, that is the exact reason why they did delay Afterlife and Morbius in the first place. So I feel like the wise thing to do for Sony with their animated film is that they should also go and delay it to 2021. I know it does suck a little bit, but then again, I think it is for the best. Maybe so, or maybe they have a different tactic with it. Maybe they do have faith on that animated film, or maybe they don't. I don't know, but I'm just saying that if they want to maximize the profitability of Connected, then it would be wise to put that somewhere in 2021. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't know. At this point, I feel like with the movies that are going to be released that have been severely delayed, they will definitely overshadow the ones that did not move their release date. That at least that's my thinking piece of all this. But it really is crazy to see all these delays happening at once, or all in 1 week, especially with Sony, and then with Universal, and then with Paramount, and then also with Disney as well. But it really does highlight the long-term consequences that we are witnessing with the pandemic, and how this is seriously affecting the film industry. I know it really does suck, but then again, it is probably for the best. It's honestly for the best to see, like, if we would have, like, these movies be delayed for a long time. And as I stated, considering that, like, the delay will probably be good for these movies because, like, people... Whoa, excuse me, the gas wants to return, but anyways, maybe it is good for these movies that, considering the delay, will make people more anticipated, like, now, oh, they gotta wait a little longer for it, and then by the time it comes out, like, people will make a big splash about it and all that kind of stuff. But for now, we'll just have to, we'll wait and see with how things are going. So yeah, we do have to wait a little bit, but who knows? It's just, honestly, it's just crazy to see all these delays and how they really are affecting the movie industry right now, especially not just at one point, like, not just for 2020, but even for, like, the following years to come, like, how it affected 2021 and also how it affected 2022. I mean, like, and it's not just movies as well that are doing this. I mean, like, we recently have heard that the Olympics are doing the same thing, where the Tokyo Olympics were supposed to be happening this year, but now they are going to be happening sometime in the start of the fall of 2021, like between August and September, I believe. So it's not just it's not just the movies, but also there are plenty of other things that had to be severely delayed as well. So with all that said, now that I have mentioned all this, it is now time that I want to go and pass on to the chat wall, and I want to ask, what do you all think about all this? What do you all think about the delays? Do you think it's for the best? Are you guys more disappointed about this? And which movies do you feel more shocked than anything else about what got released? Alright, so let me know what you all think, and I need some water. And so far, I will say, things are going good so far with the live stream. Okay, I think things are going okay. It's going safely now. Alright, so anyways, back to where I am here. Let's see here. I'm mostly going to talk about SpongeBob Sponge on the Run delay, because I swear last week when Scoop got delayed, I predict that this would be next in line. They are all good choices, especially for SpongeBob, since that was slated for a time where all the movie theaters are closed. As for my next guess for what animated feature will be delayed, I can't really see Soul staying in his slot, but then we might have to sacrifice Raya. Yeah, that's kind of the big thing. Because right now, if I may put in a little bit of my commentary on the coronavirus in this state, it does look like the best case scenario is that things are going to slowly start to get back to normal at the beginning of June. Where April is going to be a bit of a nightmare month, where in North America especially, we are going to see the numbers climb up tremendously. And then May will be the month where the numbers are going to start to really go down, and we got to be a lot more serious about social distancing, so that we want to make sure the numbers keep going down and stuff like that. And then when June comes, that's when things are going to get better and we can ease on social distancing and stuff like that. However, at the same time, this is just a little bit of a prediction, and that is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario would be that they would go and continue, where it's going to keep getting worse and worse for months. And yes, it will indeed continue by June, which Disney would have no choice but to delay Soul onto November, and then they would have to move Raya and the Last Dragon to sometime in 2021. That's at least my prediction with what's going to be happening with that so far. So you do bring up a good point with that. All right, anyways, let's see. I'm worried that several of these new dates might be a bit too soon. I mean, what if the virus is still at its worst in the middle of this year or near the end? At one point, someone even said the virus will last for 18 months. I can guarantee that many of these films might flop if they aren't properly checked. Even if it's safe to walk out again, people will still be cautious or worried, especially in large crowded areas. I know those companies need the money sooner or later, but it's still risky. I mean, I know. That's why I pretty much said at the beginning that we have to wait a little bit for now to see how things are going to go. That's why I pretty much stated that all these release schedules have to be taken with a little bit of a grain of salt. Because if things still continue, if things still get worse, then those release dates have to be delayed again. And maybe these studios have to do the same thing like Sony, and they got to move a lot of their movies onto 2021. That could possibly be the case so far. And maybe it's going to last 18 months, maybe it's going to last a couple of months. But for now, what we do know is that we have to take it one step at a time. We do have to look into the future about what's going to happen, but we cannot look way too much in the future because at that point, we just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if in July things are going to get better or if things are going to get worse or if things are still going to be the same. We just have to ultimately wait and see. And with the 18 months thing, maybe like that could be possible. But then again, I did hear, I think some people said that the 18 months thing would be until we would ultimately find a vaccine for COVID-19. That could be the case. I don't know. But again, this is something that we have to take one step at a time. Let's see now. I'm disappointed that this happened, but this is for the best. I'm definitely hoping the MCU is going to be fine, and also with Sony in terms of Sony, they do still have the Monster Hunter movie in September and Venom 2 in October. Also, it makes me wonder what's going to happen with the Marvel TV shows coming to Disney+. Well, I know for a fact that the Disney Plus shows are going to be delayed because technically those shows, their production is completely halted due to this pandemic. So, of course, those ones are going to be delayed to later in 2021 and continuing on in 2022. And, okay, maybe, okay, I thought the one for October 2021 is the Venom 2 one, but maybe that could be the case. And, yeah, they haven't changed those at all, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But then again, I'm honestly pretty surprised we have yet to actually have a trailer for any of those yet. Maybe we will soon, but honestly, it's pretty surprising. It's like, you know, like the Venom, like the Monster Hunter, and I forgot, like, is Venom 2 going to be coming out this year? I honestly don't know. But yeah, Monster Hunter is one of those that's like, oh yeah, that's going to be a thing. I completely forgot about it. All right, but anyways, let's see. I'm the most shocked that the Jungle Cruise got delayed by a year instead of a couple of months. I think the case is that Disney is really banking on the Jungle Cruise to be a major summer blockbuster. They really are dedicated to have that be a summer blockbuster and not just be like a fall movie or anything like that. And considering that in the case of Disney, they decided to put Mulan close to the original release date of the Jungle Cruise, they decided to have Mulan be the big summer movie and then just have Jungle Cruise be the big summer movie of 2021. That seems to be their big plan right now, but I think it's more Disney's dedication to have Jungle Cruise be a major summer blockbuster. Okay, let's see here. These delays will not hurt all these movies. Mostly the companies will get hit. Sony for the Marvel movies and Disney because a plan so far ahead, but now they don't know what to do, and they could have done a Disney Plus release for the movie Black Widow since it already done all the other ones, have a bigger budget and actually done theatrically. I just hope that these delays are long enough they could put the finishing touches on the movies that they needed to. Well, it really does depend on which ones you really are talking about, because yeah, there are some movies that some people can work at home, but then again, there are some things that they do need some finishing touches that they have to work at a studio for. That's basically why Minions: The Rise of Gru has been delayed for an entire year, because for now, the shops in France where they would make the Illumination movies, they're all closed down. They can't do anything for now. So maybe when things maybe when things get back to normal again, maybe like it would give filmmakers enough time to go and put in finishing touches on their works. But the thing is that yeah, they would go and maybe it could be beneficial, or maybe it could be a little bit of a problem. And as for the comment about the Disney Plus releases, I know that there are a lot of people out there that might think like, oh, why don't companies do a little bit like with Trolls World Tour, and they would go and release that onto streaming services and stuff like that? Why wouldn't Disney go and put, why wouldn't Disney go and put Black Widow or Mulan onto Disney Plus like they're doing with Artemis Fowl? Well, number one, they would guarantee to lose money. Like, they already invested literally hundreds of millions of dollars onto those films, so it wouldn't financially be a smart idea. And two, that would really piss off the movie theaters. As I stated before, movie theaters absolutely hate it when they would release movies onto streaming services and stuff like that instead of the big screen. Ooh, excuse me. Instead of the big screen. They would be massively upset about it because they're in that, especially now, they're always in that paranoia state where they feel like the next day they would disappear from the face of the earth and that streaming services would immediately take their place, giving people no reason to go to the big screen. So it's something that is highly discouraged by movie theaters, and they're the ones that are in control of having movies be released where they wanted to. Like, maybe not for Netflix, but they definitely have Sony, Universal, Paramount, and Disney by the collar on that one. Let's see now. As much as I'm disappointed that multiple movies are being delayed, I will always respect every studio's decision, and fun fact, since Minions 2 is delayed until next year, it's not the first time Illumination had missed a year. Last time they did miss 2014, which that year didn't have a lot of animation studio names. For example, no Pixar film in 2014, no Sony Animation in 2014, and the only big name that I can think of is Disney Animation and DreamWorks Animation, if you really think about it. Yeah, I know, it is true 2014 was kind of a weird year for animation, considering that a lot of studios decided to not put out a movie during that time. It was a little bit strange, but I mean, it definitely, as you stated, it is true that it's definitely for the best. Let's see, what else do we got here? I'm disappointed that this happened, but this is for the best. Again, I'm definitely hoping the MCU is going to be fine, and also with Sony in terms of... Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I think I already read that one. I already got deja vu. Okay, anyways. I'm disappointed that the animated films ended up getting delayed, especially to the Bob's Burgers movie. However, this is a good move to see studios to move their dates over, and hopefully the virus will end by either the summer or winter. And honestly, I'm just going to say this right now. I honestly have a feeling in the case of Bob's Burgers, with or without the coronavirus, that probably would have been delayed, because for a long, the only time that I have heard about the Bob's Burgers movie was just the announcement, and that's it. Other than that, I haven't heard Disney doing any, like, I haven't heard anything about the Bob's Burgers movie. I mean, sure, like, maybe a lot of the news got overshadowed by the whole Disney Fox merger and stuff like that, but, like, you would think that at this point, or sometime before the coronavirus would happen, that we would already gotten at least, like, either an image or even, like, a teaser trailer of the Bob's Burgers movie, or even get, like, a title for now. Like, even here, like, even on CNBC, like, they're just labeling it as Bob's Burgers, and that's it. So I feel like with or without the coronavirus, this would have happened in the case of Bob's Burgers. Let's see now. I'll go and read one more before we're going to jump on to our next story. Let's see. I think it's too late for Mulan. Just put the movie on Disney Plus so people can watch for free and video on demand for those who want to pay to see it. Although considering how much bad publicity the movie has gotten, I'm not expecting it to make any money at the box office, so Disney should just cut their losses and put the movie on Disney Plus. It's the smartest move right now. Honestly, I understand about how you feel about the controversies, and I mean, like, it's unavoidable. I know that it's like it's unavoidable to talk about Mulan without bringing up the controversies that it went through, especially with the Hong Kong protests and stuff like that. But I might have to disagree, and you might be shocked that I got a good feeling that Mulan is going to be a major hit, and Disney is going to make sure that it's going to be like a major motion picture event, because the thing is, you got to keep in mind that Disney has invested a really stupid amount of money. I think I heard it's like close to $300 million on the budget alone. So they're not going to go and like just throw it onto Disney Plus. They will do everything they can to make it as big as some of their other Disney live action remakes. Like, they want to make sure that movie surpasses $1 billion at the box office. And to be honest, after going through the whole coronavirus and stuff like that, there are going to be a lot of people that will completely forget about all those controversies, and they'll just go and check out Mulan. We were supposed to have it, like I said, we were supposed to have it like a week ago, but now at this point, like Mulan, like at this point, we have to wait until July. So I think honestly, with the delays, like, it's going to build up the anticipation for Mulan, and it would definitely give a reason for people to go out and go to the big screen to check out something that they were supposed to have months ago. So honestly, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you, dude. I actually do feel like Mulan is going to be a big hit, with or without the controversy. All right, I just need a drink for that. Okay, well, the good news is that so far, it looks like the stream is going strong. It looks like we can go and continue. That is great to see. Hopefully, I did solve the problem on this. Okay, so hopefully it won't be happening again. So now it is time that we are going to go and jump onto our next story. So, the problem with the next story is that we are going to enter into some sad news, and this is going to reflect on the bigger picture in this case. That this isn't just necessarily one significant death, but this is something that we got to start getting used to, and this might actually occur even to some bigger names. And some people are already mentioning, like, Bill Withers recently passed away, but that's not the one that I want to talk about specifically. This is actually regarding a voice actress that you may not have heard of, but you have definitely heard her voice before. And who I'm talking about is regarding Julie Bennett. Yes, this week, Julie Bennett has unfortunately passed away at the age of 88. And Julie Bennett, as I said before, she is a veteran voice actress. And she has done a lot of work, like ever since the 1960s. She has been voicing numerous of projects. In fact, in my article here on Deadline, it even states that she started out her career by doing some voices for the Fracture's Fairy Tale segment of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. And then from there, she would also go and do several voices for Hanna-Barbera, for Mr. Magoo, and even for the Looney Tunes cartoons. But probably her most well-known role that she has ever played is that she is the original voice of Cindy Bear from the Yogi Bear cartoons, not only playing her in the series, but also playing her in the 1964 movie, Hey There, It's Yogi Bear. On top of that, she also did a lot of other voiceover works, including the movie Gay Paris, or actually, did she start out in the 1960s, or maybe somewhere like that? Earliest I would say is the late 1950s. I'll just clarify on that. Anyways, going back onto this, some of the other voices that she has done includes Gay Paris, Transylvania 6500, the Woody Allen movie What's Up Tiger Lily, and even stating that one of her most recent works is actually being the voice of Aunt May in the 1997 Spider-Man animated series, on top of also being the voice of a talking Barbie doll. Now, it is honestly a bit sad to see her go, and what's actually kind of funny is that even though, yes, it is actually pretty tragic that she did pass away due to COVID-19, especially the fact that she definitely was of old age at 88. She's definitely one of those people that would be more susceptible to be dead by COVID-19. But then again, one positive thing that we would say about this is that she did live a full life. Like, living at 88 is quite an achievement. So that's definitely, that's definitely a great job on Julie, that she did live a full life, and a pretty admirable life, doing numerous of different voiceover works as well. So that's definitely a great, admirable work on that. And on top of that, as well, the fact that, it's funny how she is a name that not many people are not necessarily familiar with. Well, let's be honest, for many of us, and I will say even for myself, this is my first time hearing about Julie Bennett, or maybe I have, I have heard her name before or mentioned her name before, but it was such a long time ago. But it's just only now that I feel like she's really relevant at this point. But the thing with Julie Bennett is that she definitely is one of those actresses that we don't know her, but we know a lot of the works that she has done. It's like you bring up characters like Cindy Bear, or maybe someone from Gay Paris, or bring up whatever voices she has done for either Hanna-Barbera or any of the Fractured Fairy Tales and stuff like that. Then it would just pop in your mind. It's oh, that's her! Oh, I gotcha! And it's funny because, especially with Cindy Bear, she really did define the classic love interest voice. I guess that's the best way to put it. She really does have that sweet-hearted love interest type of girl kind of voice, very soft-spoken, very loving, very kind as well. She would almost be a strong, she would actually be a strong fit to go and play a Disney princess, in a sense. She almost has a bit of that style, but incorporated onto characters, especially with Cindy Bear as well. There is a bit of that loving tone that you can hear from her, especially not just in this, but also carried on onto some other stuff as well, especially for Aunt May in the 1997 Spider-Man series as well. So she definitely made quite an impact, and quite an admirable career in voice acting. The kind that voiceovers would want to have as a bit of a career, and especially the fact that it sucks that she did pass away. It's something that is worth admiring and remembering her by. And it is very unfortunate that she did pass away due to COVID-19, because it does signify that it seems like if it weren't for COVID-19, maybe she would last a lot longer. Who knows? Maybe she would go and actually live long enough to the point where she would even pass 100. Like, it would actually be the point where, like, more than like, if it weren't for COVID-19, it would be, like, more than a decade later, she would reach 100, and she would be like, I made it to 100 years old! I managed to beat out June Foray! You hear that, June? I'm older than you! You bitch! I'm just fooling around, just help putting up some light on this, but yeah, she will definitely be missed, and she will definitely be fondly remembered for a lot of her performances. And I will say, there are a lot of times that I would even remember my moments, like watching Cindy in the Yogi Bear cartoons, like back in my childhood when like I would hugely binge on like Hanna-Barbera shows. Like there are times that like I would have a funny little episode I would enjoy that would also include Cindy Bear. So may she rest in peace, and hopefully, hopefully her legacy will definitely last longer than this pandemic. But with that said, though, I just want to go and say something that we just need to go and highlight, especially regarding this. It's the fact that this is a little bit of a warning that unfortunately, due to the coronavirus, we will unfortunately have to get used to seeing more stuff like this. We are at a point where the numbers are really, really climbing up, and it's starting to look a little bit more frightening, and that we are seeing, and especially the amount of deaths that are occurring that are climbing up fast. And we are starting to see more people that are dying due to COVID-19. And like someone already mentioned about Bill Withers, and correct me if I'm wrong, did Bill Withers pass away due to COVID-19, or is it just out of other causes? You could correct me on the chat wall if that was the case. I just need, like, especially for me, I just want to know, I just want to know if that actually is the case. Bill Withers, crap, I'm trying to remember who that guy is. I know he did oh, he died, okay. Oh, heart complications. Okay, okay. Yeah, that is true. Okay. So yeah, there are going to be more deaths that will be occurring, but what I'm saying is you got to start getting used to seeing more deaths occurring because of COVID-19. I mean, oh, and then there was oh crap. Well, thanks for nothing, chat wall, because I was just about to mention Kenny Rogers. Okay, I thought Kenny Rogers passed away due to COVID-19, but apparently that was because of natural causes. Okay, so Bill was from heart complications, and then Kenny Rogers was just of natural causes. Like, just, that's it. Okay, now I understand. But my point still stands, that eventually in the future, we will have to go and start getting used to seeing some familiar names unfortunately passing away due to COVID-19. And we've already seen a lot of celebrities and a lot of familiar names that did get COVID-19. Like we did actually get that major scare of Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson getting COVID-19. But the good news with that is that they have improved. They are actually getting better. And there have been plenty of other familiar names as well. Like, someone actually pointed out as well. Oh yeah, and Idris Elba. There is also another one. Idris Elba got a serious case of COVID-19 as well. But then again, you got unfortunately, that is something that you gotta get familiar with. There will be, unfortunately, it's not just going to be Julie Bennett, but there's probably going to be more in the future, like that are big familiar names, whether it be in the movie industry, in the television industry, or in the animation industry, that will get COVID-19 and will unfortunately pass away from it. So unfortunately, I do get a very strong feeling that Julie Bennett is not going to be the only one in this case. So we're going to hear a lot more to come. So with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and it's time that I want to know and to ask you all regarding any memories that you would have with Julie Bennett. If there are any significant roles that you might remember her playing, that if you want to share some fun memories of any performances, rather be like Cindy or Aunt May or whatever, let me know if you have any comments on that. All right, let's see now. I may not be entirely familiar with Julie Bennett, but nonetheless, her death is still a tragedy that does give off one major statement. COVID-19 is no laughing matter. With her and Adam Schlesinger's passing, I'm honestly shocked that people aren't taking this seriously. So to those listening to this, stay the hell at home. Oh yeah, like the thing is that you're still gonna get a lot of those ignorant people that think they're smarter than whomever they want to hear, and like they want to be like they just want to do the opposite of what people are telling them, and they just want to do whatever they want. And the thing is, at that point, it's gonna be their own fault that they're gonna catch it or not. The thing is that unfortunately, yeah, there will be those people that will get that will get COVID-19, and there are still going to be those people that will not take it seriously, and they're gonna go InfoWars on it and spread conspiracy theories on it, and it's honestly tragic, and those people are not making things better. Let's see now. What else do we got? May she rest in peace forever. I don't know her, but she seems like a nice person. To quote someone I heard on YouTube yesterday, my heroes are dead and my enemies are in power. This virus is affecting everyone with or without the disease. This disease is not only killing people, but it's killing the economy with a crashing stock market and unemployment that's said to be as high as the Great Depression. Yeah, that's unfortunately the thing. Yeah, that's the thing with these pandemics, is that sometimes sacrifices will have to be made, and sometimes like there are going to be those people that will have to balance out, like, or have to but have to make like the big moral decision of what is more important, the economy or the health and safety of others. There will be those that will value the health and safety of others more, or there will be those who will value the economy a bit more. You know, it's a massive dilemma. Like the thing is, like pandemics are no joke. They're not fun to experience, and I mean, we're experiencing one right now, and it ain't fun. Let's see now. Bill Withers was an amazing person. I had to work with him last year in a show called Live Art Family with her daughter for the Space Theater Company in Richmond. Also, I got to meet Julie Bennett years ago when she was one of the celebrities that made an appearance at a Power Rangers in Space convention for Fox back with that shirt was popular in the 90s. She said she was handpicked by Stan Lee, the voice of Aunt May in Spider-Man the Animated Series, and it was her first role. Oh, nice. That's actually, that's a nice little tidbit about her. That's that's nice, actually. Let's see. It's a shame she passed away. On the bright side, now Cindy can join Yogi and Boo Boo, Don Messick and Doss Butler, again. But it's not just her I know who passed because of COVID-19. There's a British actor, Andrew Jack from Star Wars and The Last Jedi, and Adam Schlesinger, lead singer of Fountains of Wayne, the band behind Stacy's mom. I do hope for all people who do have COVID-19 to recover as soon as they can, and rest in peace to all those who succumb to the disease. Yeah, that's definitely a good point there, dude. I can't say I'm wholly familiar, but I remember seeing several shows she was in, like as a kid. Drang It, Get Smart, Real Ghostbusters, The Bullwinkle Show, among so many others. I hope she rests in peace. It's nice that she lived a fulfilled life. And that's probably the one bright side about this. All right, I'll read one more, and then we're going to move on to the next story. All right, let's see. I never heard of Julie until right now. It sucks that she died from the virus, and it's going to start a domino effect of celebrity deaths. Let's just hope that it doesn't happen to Charles M., the voice of Mario. Oh, Charles Martinet. And rest in peace, Julie. Yeah, I mean, like, all we can do is just hope for the best and hope everybody stays at home and follows the procedures of how to avoid the virus. Oh, someone also put in, quick correction, Adam was the bass player and backing vocalist of the band, not the lead vocals. Okay, gotcha. All right. So with that said, let's go and jump on to the next story that we have here. And for the next story, I think it's time that we need to brighten things up a little bit. I know movie delays and Julie Bennett's passing might be a little bit depressing, but I might have something here that could cheer you up, especially if you are an anime fan. Well, actually, when it comes to this thing right over here, it actually is something that, it's more for a niche group of people. Not just for anime fans, but more specifically, for anime fans that like older animes. And what I'm talking about is something called RetroCrush. Yes, Digital Media Rights has officially released a new streaming service called RetroCrush, which will be featuring more than 100 series and 40 movies, all specifically of anime from the 1970s, from the 1980s, and from the 1990s. So it is all specifically for retro anime. And it is now available in numerous of platforms right now, including iOS, Android, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and a whole bunch of smart TVs. Now, I know that there might be a few people out there that could be rolling their eyes a little bit and going, "Oh no, here comes another streaming service. Do people need to pay for more anime streaming service when there's already a whole bunch of them already?" No. Hold on a minute. Who says that you have to go and pay? Because the thing is, with RetroCrush, you don't have to pay a single thing. And that's one of the beauties of RetroCrush, is the fact that it is free. Yes, you can get over 100 anime series and over 40 movies for free. You don't have to pay a single thing. You just gotta register in, and you just gotta go and check it out right there. And that's it. No paying, no nothing. And for those of you who are curious about what are some of the shows and what are some of the movies that you can go and check out on RetroCrush, well, Animation Magazine does have a little list as examples of what you can go and check out. And these include Devil Lady, Creamy Mammy, Magical Emmy, the Magical Star, Persia, the Magical Fairy, Pastel Yumi, the Magical Idol. Yes, there's a lot of magical shows here. Cyber 6, Cat's Eye, Urusei Yatsura 2, Beautiful Dreamer, Blackjack the Movie, Golgo 13 the Movie, Arcadia of My Youth, Galaxy Express 999, and Space Adventure Cobra. And that's just a few others. And they even stated that they will go and upload a lot more anime shows and a lot more anime movies. And we do have several quotes here coming from the people behind RetroCrush. First of which is going to be from the CEO of Digital Media Rights, David Chu, as David says here. Via our distribution partnerships, we are able to provide classic anime fans with a vast library of the best series and films available in the world today. The launch of RetroCrush further cements our company's leadership position in the classic anime genre. Then we also got the content curators of RetroCrush, Will Chow and Mary Gibson, with Chow stating, "What makes this channel exciting is its focus on shows that have exhibited an influence on the creation and current crop of hit anime series." And then Mary Gibson adds, "As a longtime devotee, I'm always uncovering classic series that are fun and exciting as many of the current favorites, and we're eager to share those shows so that other fans can discover them too." So technically with this, maybe we're not gonna go and see any of the real familiar names. Like, yeah, maybe you won't find any of the big ones like Dragon Ball or Naruto or One Piece or anything like that, but it's made more as something to discover, like to enhance your knowledge on anime history, to go and check out some of the origins of many beloved anime creators and like where they started before they got their major claim to fame. Like one great example here is with Urusei Yatsura 2, Beautiful Dreamer, because that one is actually directed by the legendary Mamoru Oshii, the director of the Ghost in the Shell movie. The good one, not the live action one with Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, and some people are kind of confused about Cyber 6 is an anime? Well, technically, yes and no. Because the thing is, Cyber 6 is technically an anime in its style, mainly because it is from TMS Entertainment, which is from Japan. I know it's kind of complicated because technically it didn't come out in Japan first of all, and then like, you know, it's kind of like it went through this, like considering especially the fact that it is from TMS, it went through the same process as like Animaniacs or Tiny Toons Adventures. So it's like in that, Cyber 6 is kind of like in that weird middle where it's like, is it an anime? Well, yes and no. That's, you know, that's kind of the weird thing about Cyber 6. But yes, either way, the thing is that this is honestly a really cool thing that DMR is actually doing with RetroCrush, especially the fact that it is free. And the thing is, the fact that it is free is probably the most beautiful thing about it, because especially for this time, considering that we are in a pandemic right now, and like, as we mentioned before, the economy is really going down, and there's a lot of people that are unemployed or can't really do much with their finances. Like, this will really help people out, especially, and plus the fact that now that people do have a lot more time in their hands, now that they are staying at home, something like RetroCrush would actually be a nice addition to go and learn about some new animes, you know, to discover some new hidden treasures that were released back in like the 70s or in the 90s or in the 80s and stuff like that, to discover not just like the origins of many anime creators and stuff like that, but also like to find like where many many of the biggest animes would go and get their influence. That you would discover one anime and you'll find it familiar to something that's big, like maybe find like where they would get the ideas of stuff like Dragon Ball or like with One Piece and stuff like that. You know, that's kind of the great thing about it, the fact that it is free and that many people right now can't commonly afford so many streaming services at once. The fact that it is free is actually very helpful. And I know that right now it is a little bit of a trend, especially the fact that, you know, due to the pandemic, there are a lot more people that are trying to create like new streaming services or try to put their content out for free. Like one great example is Andrew Lloyd Webber, where he opened up a new YouTube channel where he is posting film versions of his works on Broadway. Like just recently he put out Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and then soon, as I am recording this, he is going to release Jesus Christ Superstar. So technically, yeah, it is kind of a bit of a trend to go and create free streaming services, but in the case of RetroCrush, it's actually really cool that they would go and do that, and I think this is going to be something that would really help a lot of people out. But then there is also another thing that I feel like it's a great thing about the fact that it is free. And maybe I could be wrong on this, but I'm saying this in more of a hopeful tone than anything. It's the fact that I really do hope this actually does help out in terms of a little bit of a common issue that is well known within the anime community. And if you are familiar with the anime community, then you probably know what I am talking about, and that is regarding piracy. Because if you are a part of the anime community, or if you have seen the actions of the anime community, then you probably know that piracy is like a major thing there, where like often the more common options that people would rather want to do, and especially the fact that they are a lot more vocal about it, despite the fact that, you know, piracy is illegal. The thing is, like, there are some people that would much rather go and check out their anime through downloading torrents or watching it through very shady and virus-filled websites like Kiss Anime or Kiss Cartoon. And from there, when it comes to piracy, now I just want to go into really clarify something about like the anime community and piracy and stuff like that. Not everyone in the anime community would go and pirate their anime. There are those that would actually be fair and they would do the proper streaming services, or they would pay for their content, or they would pay like the DVDs and all that kind of stuff. There are those that would properly do so, like the legal and correct way. And also, not everyone who does pirate anime are bad guys. There are those that do it for reasons that they just cannot do it under normal circumstances. Like, there are people who are really poor out there that cannot afford to have like many different streaming services, so they can only do what they can, and that's why they would go and download some anime and stuff like that, even if it isn't legal, then again, they don't mean any serious harm about it. But then there is that other category of people who do pirate anime, and those are the ones that are the most vocal about it. The people who are doing it out of protest. Oh boy, there are some people out there that think they are freaking Greta Thunberg, that they want to proclaim that they want to pirate anime because they want to fight the establishment, because there are some people in the anime community that have a serious grudge against North American anime distributors. You know the ones that I'm talking about. Well, not just them, not just anime, but also manga distributors as well. Stuff like, Viz Media or Crunchyroll or Funimation or any of those companies. Like, there are some people in the anime community that have a serious and really almost obsessive grudge against those companies. And I know that when it comes to those companies, I understand that there are a lot of shady and dark practices that they would do, that there are people out there who would justifiably look down upon the fact that they would go and do so. However, those people who are so open to pirate anime and be against those companies, and that they pirate anime to protest those companies, more than half the time, it's for like stupid, illegitimate reasons. Like the kind of things that are either absolutely petty, like these are things that are just beyond first world problems that any normal human being would not necessarily mind at all. Or the worst thing ever would be that they would protest for reasons that would use the word SJWs in an antagonistic manner. Yes, I'm talking about those people. Like, seriously, guys, can you imagine still being that person who still has this passionate and very obsessive grudge over SJWs and think that social justice warriors are one of the biggest evils in the world and stuff like that? Like, that's, I wouldn't even say that's like funny. That's just sad. I mean, like, those, like, it's honestly depressing to see that some of these people have yet to fully grow up. It's like, that's disappointing. And on top of that, they would also be like those kinds of people that are so desperately entitled that they think they would command anyone to silence like whatever thing that they don't like and label that as politics, which is why you would commonly see them go around and say you should keep your politics to yourself, or they would go around and say anime should not have politics in it whatsoever, despite the fact that Gundam and Full Metal Alchemist and many more are all about politics in the first place. So yeah, those kinds of freaking idiots that I am talking about. And the thing is, well, like, going back into RetroCrush, is that what I am hoping for is that hopefully the fact that it is free, it will help people to stop, to take a moment to stop pirating their anime and instead go with the legitimate reasons to go and actually watch their animes, to go from a company to go and watch animes, and they'll see, like, considering that it's free, they can go and check it out, and they would go and consider, okay, this is not that bad, so maybe I'll go and use the services like Crunchyroll or Funimation and all that kind of stuff. And they'll do so that they don't have to go, so they don't have to go and necessarily pirate their content, that it's okay to actually use stuff like Crunchyroll and Funimation, and that, like, the reasons for protesting against those companies are all exaggerated and stupid anyways. And I will just say this. If there is still someone out there, like one of those mentally unstable people that somehow believe in things that don't exist, like an SJW agenda, and they would go and still want to download and pirate anime, and not just pirate any anime, pirate anime from digital media rights, from RetroCrush, if they still want to pirate stuff from RetroCrush as a protest or anything like that, then at that point, they're just being an idiot. Because you could just go and check it out for free. Like, you don't have to literally pay anything to watch this content. If you're still going out there committing a felony, then at that point, the problem is not really the companies. It really does highlight that the problem is just you. I mean, seriously, it's just, oh boy, like, I know, like, I can make an entire segment dedicated to the whole piracy problem within the anime community, but, oh god, it's just, that's just ridiculous. Oh boy, what the fridge? The SJW only, do you mean the anti-SJW? Because that would be more of a thing. It's like, what the fridge does this comment say? It's like, the SJW only wants attention. Are you trying to parody those anti-SJWs? Because you don't seem to know what you're talking about there, dude. Alright, is that a future AniMat video? Oh, like, I would love to go and talk about it, but make a video about it? No, oh yeah, anti-SJWs, there you go. It's important to go and do that. Okay, it's important to really highlight that, dude. you need clarification. You need to do just, you need to go and really clarify that. That's an important word to add in, Anyways, going back to what I'm talking about. Yeah, the thing is, no, I'm not gonna do that, because the thing is that anti-SJWs are notorious to be mentally and especially emotionally unstable. The thing is, you guys have seen how, like, how fans of Vic Mignogna got entirely pissed off of how I called out his lawyers and stuff like that being so incompetent, and how he's going to lose the appeal and the court case and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to go and relive that. So the thing is that these aren't the kind of people that you really want to go and mess with. Even though what you would say would be 100% fact and 100% true, they don't want, the thing is that those people, like, they don't want to be called out. They don't want to be, educated or anything like that. They're desperate to be right about everything, and they will try to silence any opinion that would say otherwise. So maybe I'll save that for later when things are more in control with anti-SJWs. I'm just saying. Okay, but yeah, as I was saying, so the thing is with RetroCrush, if you guys are interested in checking out some classic anime, then all you have to do is just go and download it wherever you can. As I said before, it's available now on iOS, Android, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and on smart TVs if you want to go and check out some classic anime. Alright, so with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you feel about RetroCrush? If you are an anime fan especially, would you consider downloading this and discover some new animes? Would you be interested in checking it out? Let me know what you all think. Okay. Let's see. It's a bit odd including more obscure anime, but then again, some of them are made by those who are legends in the anime scene. So the best thing we can do is hope this thing catches on quickly. Who knows, maybe those anime will finally get a chance to shine. I think, honestly, it's a beautiful thing to actually include some obscure animes. Like, the thing is that I feel like with RetroCrush, it's gonna be rare to actually find anything that's gonna be super well known. Like, even for me, the only thing that I can recognize from all this is just literally Cyber 6, and that's pretty much it. But I think it's honestly beautiful to have obscure things, to have things that people don't actually know so that they could actually go and discover it. I think that's really the point of RetroCrush. It's not necessarily to relive your favorite or the most popular animes out there. It's to discover some new stuff, to discover some hidden gems so that they could have some newfound popularity. You know, I think it's honestly a good thing to dedicate a whole channel to some obscure animes, even if there are some that, like, you have no idea what they are. Let's see now. I'm not a huge anime fan, despite being a huge fan of Studio Ghibli and Cory in the House, but this is kind of cool. Plus, I have to give props for being free to access. I may check it out in case I get extremely bored. However, I will say the way you describe it as a site for fans of adult anime, I never said adult anime. I don't know where you got that one, dude. Makes it sound like a streaming service for hentai. Hell, Creamy Mammy just sounds raunchy. The thing is, dude, they would state if it actually is for hentai specifically. Like, there would be something that would actually clarify that this is, like, for adult anime stuff. Like, if it would, like, one of the major things they would highlight here would be Bible Black if they would also include hentai. But that's not really the case. So, no, one thing I just want to clarify is that, the most that they would go is, like, from rated E to rated M. I don't think there is, like, full-on hentai in this, so I just want to go and clarify on that. Okay, let's see. I used to go to pirated websites like Watch Cartoon Online, which thankfully didn't give me any viruses, but I do use legal streaming, and I only accepted piracy if the content is very old or out of print and stuff, for example. If you want to read old comic books about the Justice Society of America, I'll go online for reading those old stories. And yeah, and that's probably another reason where I can find it to be a bit understandable where people would pirate anime or pirate cartoons and stuff like that. It is true that there is some content out there that is so old or that is so obscure that you cannot find it anywhere else. Unfortunately, the only option would be to go and pirate it. Like, it may seem morally wrong, but if your only option would be that, well then, I guess you could go and make an exception to it. So, that is pretty understandable there. Let's see now. RetroCrush feels like a dream come true for me, and I am just tired of the current trend in most modern anime, like fan service and isekai, which is beginning to feel oversaturated. And I will definitely watch some anime on RetroCrush whenever I can. Ah, there we go, dude. That is nice. Oh, we just got an update. Apparently, there is another oh crap. So apparently there is another major update. We just lost another voice actor. Unfortunately, it is Jay Benedict. So apparently, yeah, this is like breaking news. Apparently, just want to go and look things up on who Jay Benedict is and the kind of roles that he has done. Apparently, he was in the original Star Wars as Deke as one of his first roles. He was in Chico and Rita. He was in Pets as Francois the Duck. He was in the 1994 French film The Patriots. What else do we have here? He was in let's see. I'm trying to find if there are like some that like we can all really be familiar with. Oh crap! Oh, what the fridge? Apparently, okay, he was in The Dark Knight Rises, believe it or not, but apparently, his role is literally Rich Twit. Is that his name, or is it just a Rich Twit? I don't know. What the fridge? It's like, is this like some kind of weird pun? But he's I was like, oh, what do you play? I don't know, some Rich Twit. Okay, but yeah, apparently that's just one major update, and yeah, sadly we just recently lost another one, so may he rest in peace. What the fridge was I talking about? Oh yes, sorry, RetroCrush. Okay, let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, let's see. Let's see here now. I hate RetroCrush. I'll only get RetroCrush if they go and buy the streaming rights to Pokemon, Dragon Ball franchise, and One Piece, and Sailor Moon, and Studio Ghibli. Are you saying you hate it because they don't have things you're familiar with it? Like, really, dude? Like, this is why you hate it? Come on, man. That's not a reason. Just because they have things you don't know, that doesn't mean you can't go and discover it. Like, what the fridge, man? Come on, be real. Come on, that's just sad, man. That's as dumb. That's like one of those anti-SJW explanations of like why you wouldn't want to support this, or why you wouldn't want to go see any of this. Come on, man. All right, let's see now. I'll go and read. I'll go and read one more. Let's see. I think this is a great idea. In an age who we pay so much money for multiple streaming services, it's great to see we can get a free streaming service with classic anime, especially given the fact this pandemic is going right now, so per se, especially given that streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus are taking advantage of it. Yeah, and I will say, when it comes to Disney Plus, that's probably the only good thing that Disney is going for right now. Or maybe there's a bit of help from ABC as well, but so far, yeah, business is going well with Disney Plus, but that doesn't necessarily mean things are going well with Disney in general, especially with the movies right now, which are not really happening, and the theme parks, which are like eerily empty. So, yeah. So that's kind of the big thing with that. All right. So with that said, it is now time that we are going to go and move on to the grand finale. And oh boy, do I have something very special for you on this grand finale. I know that it may seem a little short this episode, that I don't have as much stories that I would normally be talking about, but the thing is, with this one, oh boy, this is a crazy story. Now the thing is, I would like to add that this is a bonus miscellaneous. This does not reflect on anything that is animated, but oh man, is this crazy. This really emphasizes the crazy in AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. So before I get into this story, I would like to first go and ask, are any of you familiar with the Netflix documentary Tiger King? Now, people in the chat wall, let me know, have you seen this documentary? Let me know if you have. Like, are there people who have actually seen it? Let me know. Let's see. No, okay, we got no. Oh, okay. So O.J. Simpson. No. Okay, we got. Okay, so there are a few. There are some who have heard it, but I see most of you have not actually seen it. But there are some that have. Okay, so it's mostly no. Oh man, if you haven't, oh man, you're in for a wild ride. Okay, so here's the thing. So as a short summary of what Tiger King is, it is a 7-part Netflix documentary that talks about zookeepers that specializes in big cats. And when I say big cats, I'm talking about stuff like tigers, lions, leopards, panthers, cheetahs, and all that kind of stuff. But in this case here, tigers are more emphasized than anything else with these zoo owners. And it's all across America. But one that they specifically focus on the most is the zoo owner from Oklahoma, Joe Exotic. Now, that's how the show is on the surface. But in actuality, when watching this documentary series, it's not really about the zoo itself. It's not about the tigers, nor is it really about animals or anything like that. It's about the people. And I'm just gonna say this. You know how, yeah, and someone even mentioned Double Toasted talked about it. Oh, I've seen those episodes and they are fantastic. I would recommend to check those out. Oh my god, Corey really nailed a lot of the stuff when talking about the show. But the thing is, you guys are familiar with crazy cat people or crazy cat ladies and stuff like that? Well, apparently the bigger the cat, the bigger the insanity it is. Because this is all about everyone in this show is freaking insane. Especially Joe Exotic himself. He is a true wild personality. No pun intended. And the things that happen, it's hard to really describe. It's impossible to even spoil. I don't know where to even start on the insanity that constantly occurs in this show. But I'm just going to go and say this. The thing is, with Tiger King, you know when a show is truly insane when there is a moment where it's actually caught on camera that someone gets their arm ripped off by a tiger, leaving that person to be amputated for life. And that is one of the least interesting things in the show. Like, that's actually the moment where people look at it and go, yeah, sure, that did happen. But did you see that thing? Like, holy crap. Like, oh my god, I don't know where to even start. But what I am going to be talking about here specifically, it is actually going to be one of the main characters. Not necessarily Joe Exotic, but I'm going to be talking about who would be considered the arch nemesis of Joe Exotic. And that is Carole Baskin. Now, the thing is with Carole Baskin, considering this is a documentary about zoo owners and stuff like that, and by the way, no, the picture that you see here, if you are watching this, no, this is old Joe himself. That's not Carole Baskin. I'll show you if there is a picture. Yeah, there she is. There she is. This is Carole Baskin. The thing is with these documentaries is that you always have to go and expect that there's this one person who's like the activist of it all, that don't approve about how zoo owners are running that are running things. And you get someone like Carole Baskin that feels like tigers should be free, animals should be free and stuff like that. But in actuality, you look at the documentary and she's pretty much a hypocrite. And even in this picture, by the way, with Carole Baskin, she's actually the founder of an organization called Big Cat Rescue, which they specialize in big cats to give them a better life than the zoos that people like Joe Exotic would go and run. But the thing is, you look at this picture and you see the hypocrisy. Like, here she is at Big Cat Rescue, and right behind her, you see this little danky little cage where this lion is eating or drinking water. Like, that's it. Like, in a way, she does run her own big cat zoo, but she's kind of a hypocrite with the cause that she's trying to run. But the thing is with Carole Baskin is that there is one episode in particular that does highlight a possible dark secret, and that is an allegation against Carole Baskin that she killed one of her former husbands. Now, if you guys haven't seen that episode, the thing with Carole Baskin is that there is a rumor that is going around that she used to have a husband that is called Jack Don Lewis. And with Jack Don Lewis, he was a millionaire that actually introduced Carole Baskin to the life of having big cats as pets. That he was a millionaire that loves to have like tigers as pets and stuff like that. And apparently they had a major argument And like Jack just wanted to leave. Like Jack doesn't want to be like things were going sour with the relationship of Jack and Carole. And that's all true. Like, it is true that there was Jack Don Lewis and that he married Carole Baskin and that he introduced her to the life of big cats as pets and all that kind of stuff. But here's where the rumor really gets crazy. Apparently, this is a case of the get-rich Black Widow scheme, where what Carole did is that apparently she killed her husband. And apparently what happened afterwards is that she cut the body into pieces where she would go and feed it to the tigers. And the thing that kind of makes it true or kind of makes it believable about this rumor is that on August of 1997, Jack Don Lewis mysteriously disappeared and was never found since. And that's where all this rumors have circulated of the possibility that Carole was the one that killed off Jack Don Lewis and fed his body to the tigers and stuff like that. Which, of course, considering that Joe Exotic had a serious grudge, like a serious passionate hatred for Carole Lewis, almost like I would even say that this is the kind of passionate hatred that even exceeds how I used to be with Sony Pictures Animation, where he would go and completely exploit that whole thing. In fact, the funny thing is that Joe Exotic is actually in prison right now because he tried to hire a hitman to go and actually kill off Carole Baskin. And, like, during that whole time, like, he would always talk a lot about wanting Carole Baskin to be dead. And, like, he would often bring up, like, the death of Jack Don Lewis in order to defame her and all that kind of stuff. But for now, the whole disappearance of Jack Don Lewis remains a mystery. But, of course, considering the viral success of Tiger King, considering that right now it is the most talked about Netflix show, it is at the point where now the case has been reopened. In fact, there is a sheriff that actually opened up that actually decided to go and reopen the case and decided to, and pretty much stated on Twitter to go and call him to know if there are any tips or any leads to what happened to the disappearance of Jack Don Lewis, along with his phone number. Oh my god. Okay, I just found this on Twitter, and like, this is just underneath the post, but this is actually hilarious. It's a little it's a meme. You might remember the meme of Bernie Sanders, and it's Bernie Sanders, but it's like dressed up as Joe Exotic, and it states, "I'm once again reminding you that bitch Carole killed her husband." That's essentially, like, that's Joe a quarter of the time throughout the whole show. Like, that's basically a fourth of Joe Exotic in that series in a nutshell. But that's pretty much the case here. So at this point, we don't fully know, but it is true that because of the success of the documentary, it does bring up some newfound interest in the mystery of the disappearance of Jack Don Lewis, and if there is a possibility that Carole Baskin actually did kill him off. Now, of course, you might not necessarily be surprised that in response to this, Carole Baskin is legitimately pissed off at the show creators. Like, she is upset that there is even a whole episode dedicated to that entire disappearance and stuff like that. So, like, so right now, she is pretty much putting up a whole hate campaign against the filmmakers of Tiger King for pretty much what she accuses of them doing Joe Exotic's job of making her look bad and stuff like that. But I will say this when it comes to the filmmakers, and I completely defend them on their case. Not because of the way that they portrayed Carole Baskin, but the way that they tried their hardest to make things fair for the show, to make things fair for everyone. Because this is a case where they don't want to necessarily emphasize who is the hero or who is the villain and stuff like that. Like, they're not going to go and full on say that Carole Baskin is the villain and Joe Exotic is the hero and all that kind of stuff. They want to do their best to try to portray everyone equally. But the thing is, everyone that is presented in the show is freaking insane. They are out of their minds. Some of them are literal meth addicts. There's even one tweet from Clay Cadis, one of the directors of the Angry Birds movie. He actually said it best, that everyone in the freaking show looks like a character from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Everyone is freaking insane. Everyone deserves to go to freaking jail. So in the case of Carole Baskin, I think it's kind of fair the way that they treated her and highlighting something like that. And especially if you are going to talk about Carole Baskin, then you can't just let something like this slide, you know? It ain't one of those things that you could just throw off and easily pass on, not mention. It's like, okay, she likes chocolate, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's see, what else? Her favorite show is Miami Vice. Nah, that doesn't count. There's an allegation that she murdered her husband and fed his body to the tigers. Nah, let's not talk about that. No, that needs to be highlighted. That needs to be mentioned. You can't just slide that off. That's like one of those things where it's like, whoa, wait a minute. What did you say? What, Carole, what's that thing you're talking? What's the thing they're talking about? Like, we need to talk about this. You know, it really highlights the insanity of everyone. So the thing is that when you're talking about people who are all absolutely insane, then you cannot leave no stone unturned. And the thing with Carole Baskin is that, yeah, you gotta mention that. And for me, I gotta say that the thing is with Carole Baskin is that, in my opinion, I feel like there is a strong chance that she did. Because, like, when you hear this story, like I said, this is the typical Black Widow story. The case that she married a millionaire, things don't go well with the relationship, and she ends up mysteriously keeping everything, and somehow the husband just disappeared for some reason. Like, she keeps all the money, she keeps all the properties, and she keeps all the cats. She somehow keeps it all. Or at least she keeps the grand majority of it. Oh yeah, someone even mentions Constance Hatchaway. Yeah, basically it's like that. Even she's watching this going like, honey, you did it. It's like, yeah, she did it. I know. Like, I've probably done that like twice, but oh yeah, she's totally guilty. I was like, she's watching it and she's like, yeah, you didn't do it. Yeah, keep going with that, honey. Yeah, I'm sure people are gonna believe it. I certainly don't. So, yeah, honestly, with all this, I do believe she did it because, like, she can't, like, somehow the husband mysteriously disappears and she keeps everything where now she's magically a millionaire and all that kind of stuff. I mean, seriously, dude. It's like, yeah, it's like, honestly, there's a lot of signs that point out that she has indeed done it. I could be wrong, of course, because these are all allegations. There is nothing that is confirmed. But if I have to categorize myself to say, like, if she did do it, if she didn't do it, and that as well, I just want to point out that through my perspective, the most of my knowledge that I got this from is just the Tiger King documentary. But honestly, in my perspective, I do feel like I'm a little bit more in the yes, she did it category. Like, honestly, hopefully there will be something more that will be brought up on this. But like I said, now I guess, like, considering this is not necessarily about animation, now you know why I gotta talk about this, because this is absolutely crazy, dude. And I just want to say, if you have Netflix and if you guys have not seen it, you gotta check it out. You just gotta see it. It's, you know, it's 7, like, the episodes are more than 40 minutes each. There's only 7 episodes, but holy dude, they're worth it. They are worth checking out. Like, holy crap. It's just nuts, man. It's honestly just absolutely crazy to see. But yeah, I thought, honestly, the one thing I am not surprised though, like I said, is that of course the success of the series will regain some interest in not just the case of Carole Baskin, but plenty of other people as well. That I'm sure there's one of them, like technically the new owner of Joe Exotic Zoo. I'm sure there's going to be more cases on him that we're going to hear a lot more of. And even in the documentary, they even stated that the case is not over. Like, we're going to be hearing a lot more about these people in the future, and not necessarily just through like another Tiger King series. So hopefully we will hear more about it, and hopefully soon we will have more answers regarding the case of Jack Don Lewis, and if he truly did disappear, if he truly is dead, or if Carole did it or not. I don't know. We'll just have to ultimately wait and see. But with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, what do you think of, what do you think about the case of Carole Baskin? Do you think she did it? Do you think she's guilty? Do you think she's innocent? Let me know what you all think. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, I was not expecting that at all. I mean, I've heard of failing marriages, but my god, this kind of behavior is a marriage so bonkers and utterly insane that it almost makes Gomez and Morticia look sane. Oh no, are you kidding? Gomez and Morticia, everyone knows, like, they're the best couple ever. That's like dream couple goals, man. Let's see. And since this is a show about large cats, I'll close this off by singing, Get back, honky cat, get back to the woods. Oh yeah, and there's another thing I forgot to mention about Joe Exotic. The thing is, you might not, like, for those of you who don't know, Joe Exotic, like, not only is he a zoo owner and stuff like that, but there's also a lot of things that they highlight about Joe Exotic, is also the fact that he tried to run for president. No joke. Like, during the 2016 election, he tried to run for president. He tried to run for governor he tried to run for governor of Oklahoma in 2018. And he's also a country music star. He's also a country music singer. Like, he actually has his own songs. And I kid you not, one of his most popular songs is actually an entire diss track about this story in particular. You gotta look this up. There's a song by Joe Exotic called Here Kitty Kitty, and it's all about how Carole Baskin killed off her husband and fed the body to the tigers. That's actually a real song screw it. Okay, you know what? Screw this. I need to make you listen to some of it. You gotta hear this. Hold on a sec. I'm just gonna give you a sample, but you have to go. You gotta hear Kitty. Oh my god, you gotta hear Kitty Kitty. Holy crap. Hold on, I gotta put this up, man. You gotta hear this. Hold on a sec. Okay, so I just need to set myself back up. Alright, just take a listen. Hold on, I'll just, okay, I'm just gonna... that's only a little that's just a little sample, but you gotta see this. And also, I'd just like to add, like, one really impressive thing that they did in this music video is the fact that, like, whoever they hired to play, like, the Carole Baskin character, like, they did a great job finding someone who looks exactly like Carole Baskin. And someone even mentioned it in the chat wall that it is true that when it comes to this song, it's catchy for all the wrong reasons. Like, I am not a fan of country music whatsoever, but already I'm putting Joe Exotic as one of my favorite country stars, like, right next to, like, Country Bear Jamboree. I may have been listening to this song in particular a little bit, so, you know, this is, like, I think I could safely categorize this as a massively guilty pleasure of mine. Oh my god. Oh, let's see. I'm into documentaries unless it's sci-fi related. Unless the show has an episode about the tigers going to space, I'm not interested. Also, is the human condition of madness leader... Is this the human condition of madness leader? Oh, buddy! No, dude. You gotta watch this. You need... Like, it doesn't matter... Dude, listen. You know the classic meaning of truth is stranger than fiction? You won't get anything sci-fi from this, man. Sci-fi won't give you stuff like this. And this is crazier than anything you could get in sci-fi. You gotta check that thing out, boy. Whoo, bad, dude. Okay, let's see now. Geez, I don't know if this is more insane than PETA, that companies responsible for requesting entertainment companies to make almost every media, to make everything vegan and animal friendly, or they would demonize them like they did with Pokemon and recently Peppa Pig. If you ask me, Tiger King should be associated with World Wildlife Fund rather than Big Cat Rescue. At least that company doesn't get offended easily. Oh, and that's actually a fun fact, is that PETA does play a little bit of a role in Tiger King, where like there will be a point where everybody, all the big cat people are going to turn on each other, and they will, and there are going to be some of those people that will make allies with PETA in order to take down those people. Like even Joe Exotic himself would be willing to team up with PETA in order to take down people like Jeff or even Carole Baskin. So there is a significant role. Let's see now. Wow, this story is interesting. Reminds me of the first season of American Horror Story. I bet if the gender flipped, anti-SJWs and MRAs would be defending Carole and complaining about SJWs and feminists. I'm disappointed you didn't talk about the trailer of Adult Swim's new show, J.J. Villard's Fairy Tales. It was weird and crazy, perfect for your show. Yeah, I know. Like, admittedly, there have been a few things going around that did, like, pass under my radar. And especially, like, with some of the trailers that have been released. Like, I am aware that there have been some, like, Rick and Morty that released a new trailer, and Fairy Tale as well. And then, well, speaking of Adult Swim, like, they did release the pilot of a new show called Smiling Friends for free online and stuff, but honestly, there just wasn't enough material to go and talk about, if I could be very honest, actually. Hopefully you will understand, and nonetheless, like, hopefully you still had a good time with this episode in particular. Let's see now. Let's see. This story is the true definition of crazy of all the stories in this cast. This crazy lady should definitely be locked up forever for murdering her own husband. Again, this is allegations. We're not 100% sure. Like, I am leaning a little bit more towards yes that she did it, but we can't fully say that she did it. It's not yet that we can go full Joe Exotic and antagonize Carole Baskin. I'm just saying. We'll go and read one more comment right now. Let's see. This is just insane. I really think it's safe to say that she did do it. Also, this is just so over-the-top crazy that I can't help but just laugh. And if there are no words to describe how insane this is, dude, that is nothing. You should watch Tiger King. But with that said, I would like to go and conclude this episode, and that's pretty much it for AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And yeah, we did have that little technical difficulty at first, but I am glad that we managed to fix things up at the end. It looks like things did go back to normal. So, yes, tune in next time because it's gonna be a real big one, because coming next episode, we are gonna enter into the big 100. So with all that said, I would like to say thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, see you later, dudes!